Here's one of the latest interviews from Rock and Metal Revival. If you want to hear the whole show, go to rmrshow.com. From the Long Cold Winter release, there is Cinderella, and if you don't like it, I don't care. Right here on Rock and Metal Revival. And,
good attitude.
Still one of my favorites, man. I still love that song. And we're, I don't know, I think he now is the most welcomed guest on Rock and Metal Revival. We want to welcome back our friend Eric-Brittingham to the show. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
We're doing great. It's great to have you back on the show, and you probably particularly like that song, don't you?
Well, yeah, I actually wrote that song out of frustration because I had a bunch of songs before the first record that didn't make it on the first record, and then when we were in pre-production for the second one, I kept bringing in songs, and the producer was like, nah. So finally, I wrote this one. I was like, well, here you go. How about this one? And they liked it, so it went on.
So now, Eric, you just said you had all these songs you wrote, and how much Cinderella stuff is probably sitting in the can somewhere that nobody's heard?
Oh, there's a lot. Probably upwards of 100 songs easily.
Wow.
That no one's heard. I mean, like some of them, I wouldn't want anyone to hear.
There's a reason they're where they are.
Some of the early ones, yeah. There are reasons, yeah.
So now, Eric, you are now on the road with a gentleman that you toured with a lot when you were in Cinderella with Poison. What's it like being out on the road with the Bret Michaels Band?
It's awesome. I'm really enjoying myself. It's a great bunch of guys. Bret's great to work with and work for, and it's just I look forward as much to just like the bus rides after the show than I do the actual show. It's a lot of fun, and I think it shows on stage, which is cool. And I'm just having a great time. I mean, I've been with him now, going on 6 months now, and it seems like I just started. It's so weird, like time is just like passing by quick. So, which means we're having fun. So a lot of work though. I mean, we work steady, and I don't see a break coming in sight.
So what's going on the bus after the show? That's what I want to know.
Oh, we just like we do our victory dance. We had a great show. We just we kick back a few, and there's some video footage of it from time to time where we're using like the guitar tech's face as a backboard for basketball, and like Nerf darts, and we just do stupid shit. We just cut up and have fun.
At least you're putting him to use. Keeping him busy.
Yeah, I was telling Bret, I was like, we really should really film this and make a series. I mean, there's got to be a way to sell this. I mean, seriously, people will pay good money to see this crap.
Yeah. So now, Eric, I was reading not too long ago online that there might be a Poison Def Leppard tour. How does that affect you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if it happens, I know it's not. I don't think there's any talks in the works. I mean, Bret's really putting it out there. He really wants to make it happen, and we'll just see if all the stars align, and and it happens. It's fine. I mean, it'll only be for like a couple months, which is which I have other things I could be doing, or who knows? I mean, we might. I know that on other Poison tours, the Bret Michaels Band also did shows too. And he just traveled with his solo band, and there was nights where they do a Poison show, drive an hour, and then do a Bret Michaels show. So you just never know. So he's a hard-working guy, and he's a workaholic.
So will the stars align sooner to get a Poison tour or a Cinderella tour?
Oh, Poison tour for sure.
now, I, you know what? We've been friends a while, and I'm just going to throw this out there: is that a dead issue?
At the moment, yeah. I mean, I'll never say never, but at the moment, there's, you can do the research. It's out there. Read between the lines, and you'll figure out what's going on. And I just don't think it's my place, to talk about it, but. I just don't see anything changing with the internal problems. So, because the problem that we're having is with somebody who doesn't want to change, and
we know it. Yeah,
I think it's a shame. It's a shame for the rest of us. It's a shame for our fans. But hey, it is what it is. Tom's happy doing his solo career, which is great, and it's getting better. It's taking off, and and I wish him all the best. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm playing with a great band with a great bunch of guys. We're all like best buds, and it's all good. So Fred and Fred's happy too. So so be it.
So is Tom going to be a country artist now, or what?
I haven't heard that one.
That's what he's looking like.
Well, I hear.
Oh, really?
My question for you now, Eric, is now we were all excited. Well, you and I talked about this when I saw you in Nashville. I'm watching videos from that Monsters of Rock. I think it was the Monsters of Rock cruise, and I see you playing with Last in Line.
Oh yeah.
You got to tell us what that was like.
Well,
I mean, it was a sad thing, but I mean,
way to do it. To do it.
Well, I mean, it was an honor. I mean, first and foremost, I was, honored that they, that they wanted to pay tribute, to Jimmy, who had just passed away, and fulfill their commitment to play on the cruise, and but it was bittersweet for me because I was friends with Jimmy Bain, and I actually hadn't talked to him in 20 years, and was, and I was looking forward to maybe just reconnecting with him, and then he passed away on the cruise, and I was kind of devastated about that, and then the next morning I got called to the production office and told that they wanted to meet with me about doing a short set to pay tribute to him, and like I said, I was honored, but it's a lot of pressure, and but at the end of the day, it was everything went great. I think they enjoyed it. I certainly did, and I think the fans did too. And I was they're continuing on. They got Phil Sasson, which I think is the perfect choice for that group. It's a natural choice because him and Jimmy were close friends. They play similar. They look alike. It's kind of eerily look alike. I was talking to Vinny Appice about that. He said, "Yeah, we're playing a gig," and he said, "I'm from my perspective, I'm looking at the back of Phil, and it's Jimmy."
Wow.
It's kind of creepy, but they were a great bunch of guys. I mean, excellent players. I mean, Vinny Appice, there's not a better drummer out there. He's awesome, and Vivian Gamble. Oh my God, he is so precise in his playing. I'm a Dio fan, so I was it was very surreal. But I loved it, but it was really bittersweet because I would get excited playing, and then thinking about why I'm playing, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, you moved to Nashville a few years back, and I love to come to Nashville, and you keep telling me about this thing I need to see called the Rock and Roll Residency. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about what that's about?
Yeah, that's the thing that a bunch of rock musicians, which most of them play in these country bands, and they're off. Country bands go out and they do Thursday through Sunday, and they come back, and Monday and Tuesdays are off. So about 2 years ago, they started this residency at a little Irish bar, just to kind of get their yayas out, because they're playing country music for their living, and they just wanted just to do classic, really cool classic rock songs, and they actually I think Chuck Garrick from Alice Cooper's band was the first bass player involved.
Wow.
And the guitar player was with Rodney Atkins, and I think the other guy he also played with somebody at that time, and the drummer played with Thompson Square, and had another guy from Low Cash Cowboys. So they're all from these country bands, and they just started doing a Tuesday night. It's a free show, and it started growing, and eventually, Alice Cooper got the Motley tour, so Chuck was gone, for a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
So the guitar player got his bass player from Rodney Atkins, to play bass. So I used to go and I would sit in. They would have guests, if anybody, with a name or whatever could like sit in. So I would go up and from time to time and play a couple songs with them, and it was like fun because it's an amazing band. Like they're great players, and their bass player had to have hip surgery, and and I filled in for. I was going to fill in for like a month while he recuperated. It turned into 6 months because
nice.
it took him longer to heal, and so yeah, I still do it from time to time. Like now with Bret, I'm so busy.
Yeah.
I think I've played with him maybe 3 times in the past 6 months, and because if I'm home for like 2 days, I want to spend it with my with my
kids.
family.
Yeah.
So But it's a great thing, and they're getting more and more recognition, and and it's a thing that like whoever's in, there's people who live there, but there's people who tour through there, which is another thing. Like most days off, if you're touring, is Mondays and Tuesdays. So he's had Alice Cooper sit in, actually his entire band sit in, and half of Deep Purple, Robin Zander, Lizzie Hale is always sitting in, Edie Buell, like. Tons of like like famous people and great players. It's just amazing, and it's just getting more and more recognition, and it's just it's becoming like a staple Nashville thing.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Well, I mean, it must be cool because we've been trying to get Lizzie Hale on this show for about 5 years, and she won't even return a call.
So now we'll just go to Nashville and stalk her.
Yeah, so now we're going to go to Nashville and try to get her on.
There you go. It'd be easy, And I know it's becoming like a who's who there, So it's like, you can look around and be, okay, there's a guitar player from Big and Rich. There's this guy. You're seeing more and more like familiar faces, like Michael Wagner, like producer, is always there. And there's just, like I said, it's pretty much like any given Tuesday is a who's who of Nashville there. It's and it's still not, they don't even advertise it. People just know like to go there Tuesday nights, and it's free, and they're going to get a great set. And when I was doing it, it was learning. I mean, like we would make up a set list like maybe the day before. Most of the time, it was like the morning of. And I would have to learn 20 to 25 songs, some of which are not easy, know. Because we're doing Iron Maiden, we're doing Priest, we're doing everything from A to Z.
Nice.
So and that's like like some intricate stuff. So it's really cool.
What's the name of the bar?
It's called the Harp and Fiddle.
The Harp and Fiddle.
It's right on Music Circle off of Demumbrian.
Oh, okay, I know where that's
Nashville.
at. Yeah, because I'm coming down there in a couple of weeks, but it's on a weekend, so it probably wouldn't do me any good to go over there.
No, it probably would just be Irish music or country or something.
As long as they got whiskey, you know me.
But you never know. Like you have to check this. I know one of this kid that sits in is playing this Saturday. Doing like a rock show. So sporadically, like they do have other rock shows there.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
There's a lot going on in Nashville now. So
and the other thing too, Eric, I wanted to ask you about is you've had a long working relationship with Brandon Gibbs. Anything going on? You guys going to be working together again soon, or because last time I saw you, we were Cheap Thrill together.
Yeah, well, we just did. As a matter of fact, like Friday night, he filled in for like Pete because Pete had he has a candle business, and he opened his first retail store in Manassas, Virginia, last Friday, and Brandon came out and he filled in for him. So that was kind of cool. It was good to see him, and we did talk about possibly if it slows down after the first of the year, we may book some shows. We may not go out as Cheap Thrill. We might just get a new lineup and do something slightly different. Well, probably the same formula. It'll basically be what we did with Cheap Thrill, but call it something else.
Call it something different.
Yeah. Cool.
So now, Eric, one of the things one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about why we had you here on the air is I didn't know this until I drove up to Ringgold to see you and Bret, of all the charity work that he does for the vets, for the diabetes foundations. I mean, I don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
Yeah, well, like he keeps that kind of low key, and I have so much respect for him for that. I mean, his meet and greet stuff, which most bands they do paid meet and greets, and and that's extra revenue for the band. His goes to charity, and every show. I mean, it's
awesome.
a little ghetto, and then but he, we go out and we auction the hats he wears, sometimes his guitar, sometimes his shirt off his back, and it's the same thing, and it all goes into to his charity, which is great, and he gives it back to that local community. Like right now, instead of like a day off, we're in Pennsylvania doing a charity, like a private event with an after school program for underprivileged kids, like to expose them to music. So
awesome.
Brett's sitting in. They're giving like a concert, kind of like School of Rock does.
Nice.
And but he's doing it because it's all charity, and he does so much of that, and he has a big heart, and he likes to work and like together he does a lot of good. I don't think people really realize that.
Yeah, definitely not. Now, you've been playing Poison tunes for a while, I take it.
Yeah. It's like it all comes back to Poison. I actually played in Poison for 2 weeks, like filling in for Bob, when he had to go back home at the end of the '09 tour, and so I actually was the 16th or 18th member of Poison.
Nice.
For a minute, and then Devil City Angels, we played Poison songs. So now I'm with Bret, and we play Bret songs and we play Poison songs. So it's like all roads lead to Poison.
So, are there any Poison songs you think need some cowbell added to it, like every rose has its thorn? Could use a little freaking cowbell at the beginning or something, maybe.
Only if you wear like a crop top.
There you go.
Nice.
And spandex.
Oh, there you go.
You ain't seeing me in spandex, my brother. I'll tell you that right now. Well, Eric, it is always a pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm going to be down in Nashville in November. Hopefully, you're home around then, so we'll load the back of the vehicle up with some Leinenkugels and. I can't cross fire across the line.
We're going to be up in your neck of the woods here soon too.
Okay.
The 1st of November, we're in Green Bay. We're doing 2 shows there. It's a Tuesday and a Thursday. We had Thursday booked. It sold out in 45 minutes, so we added a second show on November 1st. So 1st and 3rd, and I know that there's some other ones in that area, and I think that we might be there. I think at the very end of the year somewhere in Wisconsin. I don't think they've announced that yet.
Well,
so all roads kind of lead to Poison and Wisconsin for us.
And cheese and Leinenkugel. There you go.
It's probably the Leinenkugel that has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm going to get like an endorsement. Just call John and say, look.
The thing, maybe we'll get you one of them Leinenkugel bases.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, with the wrap on it. Well, Eric, you guys have a safe trip around, and hopefully we'll run into you real soon here, and we're going to throw another one in from Long Cold Winter. This is Gypsy Road. Eric Brittingham, thank you for coming on RMR.
Well, thank you for having me.
To catch the whole show of Rock and Metal Revival, all you have to do is check it out on these affiliates. Megarock Radios on Saturdays from 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and on Uncontrolled Noize Tuesdays at 1 a.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on UncontrolledNoise.com. And make sure that you leave them a message and tell them that you found Rock and Metal Revival on their stations.